So 21 years in the show, one of the greats, man, in terms of just throwing the baseball. I mean, hell of a hitter, too. But Johnny Bench, Pudge, take a pick. 14-time All-Star. All right, I got a few issues with some things that went down last night. And I love Bruce Bochy, all right? And I know Matt Moore's not Randy Johnson. But he went through that eighth inning. I mean, 1, 2, 3, boom. He threw 133 pitches against the Dodgers back on August 25th. The bullpen is the worst in baseball. It's terrible. You know.
Yeah.
He's got to start that ninth. You got to give him one batter and see what happens. Do you agree with me or no?
Well, 120 pitches is a lot of pitches, and sometimes you have to listen and just, go through why is the reason that he's taking him out. Guy got 120 pitches. Eighth inning. The kid just came from a Tommy John surgery, and the kid has a tremendous future in front. I know it's a playoff game, but I think the decision that he makes, to me, I respect that because, you got to go with what you already have, what they brought you in there, even though is not good or bad.
You don't think you have to manage around your weakness at some point, especially in October?
Because Matt Moore definitely didn't want to come out.
No, he didn't. He didn't want to come out because obviously, when we play our sport, we don't want to come out either. But that is the fireness of us as an athlete. But as far as the number 120, probably if we face one more hitter, might be going to end up maybe 6, 7 more pitches, which is I left that to the pitcher, but probably the decision was already made with the hitting coach, with the pitching coach and the manager. He's ready to pull it out. So that's part of baseball, Sometimes,
that's part of the baseball today.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like that, and you know what I'm saying.
But how difficult is that for a skip who's had this unbelievable performance by Matt Moore? 10 strikeouts, 8 innings. He's been dominant for most of the game. But then he's got to all of a sudden shift his mindset and start doing matchups, right? That's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you're writing on the paper. You're like, who's up in the pen? I mean, how hard is that in the ninth inning of a deciding game?
Well, I'm surprised, why he didn't use, Casillas. I know Casillas is struggling, but he's a power pitcher anyway. And sometimes when you're late in the game, you have to take the gamble of bringing the guys that can throw 100 miles an hour like Chapman, right? Or 98, 95. And make him throw that pitch.
So you mean start the inning, start 9 with Casilla, because you got
some power guys.
You got a 3-run lead at that point.
Guys that you think that the fastball is going to be enough to get a guy out. I know there was some, like a couple of the guys like Lopez, Cy Armour. I think that at bat from the first baseman. Forgot his name is
for which
for Rizzo.
Rizzo, Mike Rizzo. I think that at bat caused the reason that the Giants lost that game because that was a heck of a bat.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Facing Lopez, throwing Cy Armour, just lay off some tough pitches, and then he bring Romo in, and then everything was history. And then, but that's part of the game. Okay, let's put it this way. I know that Matt Moore can be there for one inning, but it's meant to be. What is meant to be. The Cubs is a great team. They not give up. They never give up, and that's why they win the ball game.
I mean, we're gonna get philosophical here. What's meant to be?
You're a Giants guy? You love the Giants?
I'm a big Yankee fan, but I respect the Giants. And listen, I want to see the Cubs win. I think it would be great.
I think the Cubs are ready.
They're the best team in baseball.
They are. I think after my team, the Rangers, which is heartbroken, I think now probably the Cubs are probably the team to beat.
Talking to Pudge Rodriguez. Pudge in studio with us here. What is that? The broom? What are you doing there? The little broom? It's nice. Pudge,
bad.
What do you make? Now, you've caught some amazing pitchers in your career, and you've caught some of those pitchers are wound up internally, and you don't really need to pry much out of them. Some guys you got to pat on the behind and kind of pull it out of them. Everybody's different mentally. What do you make of Clayton Kershaw's seventh inning implosions? I mean, it's not just once or twice. His ERA, and Fox had this on last night, his ERA in the 7th inning in the postseason is 27.
Yep.
Why?
Best pitcher in the game.
No doubt about it.
No
Why?
Doubt. Because he's a competitor. He prepares himself every 5 days, to be the best and to be the pitcher that he is. You know, just think about it. With 3 days rest, come back in and be able to pitch 7 innings, strong innings.
It was great. He had a ton of strikeouts. But again, every year, he's like Cy Young. He's like Steve Carlton. He's like Randy Johnson. He's like Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you get to a certain part of the game, and it's always the same point.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Why?
Well,
what is he thinking about at this point?
Well, I think, I think it's because he's very good. I mean, what can I say? He has 4 very good pitches that he can throw it anytime in the count. He got a plus 90 fastball. He got a great cutter, huge 12-6 curveball.
Yep.
And a good changeup. And when you have that, when you have that recipe on you, that you can throw all those pitches in any count. Still, he can throw a breaking ball in 3-2 for a strike, and dominate with a 95-mile fastball. That's why he's so good. And I think the good thing about Kershaw is that he challenged you right away. He's not there and throw you ball 1 and ball 2. He's right on top of you all the time. He strike 1 on you very quickly. And when you have a guy like that goes and throw you strike 1, that means that he has 5 more pitches to work you out.
Did you think he got squeezed on the pitch to Harper? Not the curveball, the fastball. That was, I think the count was 1-2. I thought it was a strike.
It was a good pitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a good pitch.
Now, Chase Utley saves him because otherwise.
Chase Utley's still playing. How is this guy still playing?
Unbelievable. But he ends up saving him. Now we go to Game 5, which is tomorrow. Scherzer's on the mound for the Nats. We don't know quite yet who's going to be on the mound for the Dodgers. But how do you see it playing out? I mean, this is kind of what you want.
I think everybody in the Dodgers is going to pitch too. But I think advantage goes to the Nationals tomorrow. We have when you had Scherzer in there, it tells you that big chances are going to be high.
Yeah. And
then when you have 50,000 people cheering for you, and you had your ace and your number 1 guy at home, it's gonna be different. But I think again, I always say this: it doesn't matter who's pitching, if you are whoever, but playoff games is playoff game. Any mistake, the other team they can take advantage, and you can lose in the ball game. But I think tomorrow is going to be a very good game, fun game to watch. I'm going to be watching it. Let's see what happens.
No doubt. Talking to Pudge Rodriguez, who is in studio with us. Pudge, one of the old-timers behind the dish, no doubt. 21 years in the show, 14-time All-Star, rocket behind the plate, and could hit as well, obviously. So tomorrow we get Game 5 NLDS on Fox Sports 1. Full schedule. Just go to MLB.com/postseason. And I want to ask you something about Danny Murphy and the evolution of hitters, how – not that he's old by any stretch, but he's deep enough into his career. When he started opening up and driving the ball last October, a lot of people were like, whoa, what is this transformation? And when he first came up, I was doing a TV show in New York, and for years I'd say, this kid is going to be good. I actually nicknamed him the Irish Hammer because I thought he knew the strike zone. I know he knows the strike, and I knew he's a line drive guy who uses foul pole to foul pole. But this sudden surge in power, is it pitch recognition? Is it a slight tweak in his approach? How does he suddenly jack the ball the way he started to the last couple of years?
He always have a great swing. He always was a good hitter. But right now, he combined the good hitter that he is and thinking every at-bat and make adjustment every pitch right now, doing both things in one at-bat. Like yesterday when he got the sacrifice fly.
0-2 pitch. What a great job.
0-2 pitch. When Kershaw was dealing, right? He threw 2 nasty curveballs, and then he tries to surprise him with a 95. And guess what he did? He didn't step forward. He just stayed right there. Just land his front foot early and just wait till the ball travel all the way into the hitting zone. And the only thing what he did, it was just threw the hands, hit the ball the other way. That tells you that's why he's, he hit over 300, way over 300 each year, because that's how you got to do it. If you overswing in baseball, you're not going to hit anything. You're going to hit 150. If you're thinking you're going to hit 30 home runs, 40 home runs, swinging hard, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
that was me in college, Pudge, by the way, which is why I struck out every time, basically.
But if you there and just throw the hands, and be on time, and just wait until the ball gets to you, I mean, you're going to end up hitting 200 hits. Because at the end of the game, the pitcher has the advantage in baseball. You just think about 600 at-bats. 200 hits, it's a 333 season. And that's an MVP season.
No doubt.
Because in 333, you can hit 40 home runs in 120. But how many times you out?
Yeah.
400. So advantage is a pitcher, right? So that's what I'm saying. The easier and the simple as a hitter that you are, the better contact you're going to have.
Now, we only have a couple minutes left here with you, Pudge, but what do you think about the ALCS? It's upcoming. The Cleveland Indians obviously are there, and it's an exciting story, not dissimilar to the Cubs, to be perfectly honest with you, and then the Toronto Blue Jays, who swept out your Rangers. How do you see it playing out, just quickly?
Pretty equal. I think those two teams are pretty similar. I think Cleveland has a little bit advantage in the series because they have a better pitching, to me, personally, even though that they beat the Rangers in 3 games. But I think the starting pitcher from Cleveland is very solid, and the bullpen. When you have a Andrew Miller right now, in that bullpen, you can the Terry Francona can bring Andrew Miller, in the 5th, 6th, or 7th, whatever, and he can pitch. He can throw you 2 innings, and then bring the setup man and the closer in. That's a big advantage, and I think that's why I say that the Cleveland Indians has the advantage. I know the Toronto Blue Jay has more power, but I always say the playoff, if you pitch and if you throw strike and you get guys out and you bring your thing back to offense as quick as you can, you're going to win ball game.
That Blue Jays team is fun to watch, though, but I think you're right. I'm probably going to lean with the Indians myself. Pudge Rodriguez is here. A little different, but I'm sure you have a pretty interesting perspective on this because, Teague, I don't know if you realize Pudge wasn't too far away from 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
Now, you hung him up at the 28 change, 2830, 2840, something like that. Alex Rodriguez isn't too far away from 7.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, do you think he comes back? I know he said something on the air the other day that a lot of people have latched onto and basically interpreted as his way of saying, I'll be back next season. Do you think he plays? And the second part is, wrestling with a statistical benchmark at the end of your career, that's got to be tough.
It is tough.
Man, that's got to be tough.
It is tough. It happens to me. It happens to all of us. I played 21 years in the big league, and I averaged 120, 125 for 17 years of my career. Games play. And then late in my career, it went down to 2 games a week.
Yeah.
And to me, it was very hard because I knew I can play. And we know as an athlete, then when that happens, your mind is not there. You feel like you come to the ballpark and thinking about, do I'm going to be in the lineup or no?
That's got to be hard.
You're going to be in the lineup or no, knowing that you played for so many years and that when you come to the ballpark, you already in the lineup hitting 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever in the lineup is. Thinking about later on in your career, say, let me go to the ballpark. Sometimes I talk to my wife at home, you think I'm playing today? And when I go to the park, I text my wife, I say, don't come because I'm not playing. You know what I mean? I come because I don't play.
Yeah.
So to me, those are the hardest thing to me at the end of my career because I knew when I retire in 12, I can play a couple of more years.
Yeah.
And I could have hit 3,000.
I know.
I was 152 hits, shy for 3,000. That's one thing that I couldn't get there, but 28-44 is a lot of hits anyway.
That's a lot of hits,
It's a lot of
man.
hits anyway. I have no regrets of my career. My career was great, and especially the way that I feel right now, that I walk the game with no pain, with nothing in my body. I'm feeling great, which is great.
And you're playing golf now, you were saying, right?
I'm playing golf. I can do anything with my grandkids, and I play with them, no problem. So that's a good thing about, now being retired and feel good.
Yeah.
But back to Alex, I knew that he's not going to retire. He loved baseball.
He's coming back.
Way too much. And I tell you what, I was surprised that he didn't take that opportunity with the Marlins where they offered him to go and play first base. he decided probably to say, you know what, let me
Let me
relax
and respect the Yankees.
Yes. But I think,
and maybe even get a little work at first base when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
You know, in
Well,
February and March.
Exactly. But I don't think he's going to retire. He has this beautiful home in Miami Beach, and right next to his bedroom is a big batting cage.
Right next to the picture of himself.
Right there. So he's going to,
right next to the picture of himself.
So he's going to see that every time and say, I don't think I'm going to retire. I'm going to keep playing.